So you've given it a lot of thought, you're ready to retire, and you've picked the Suncoast of Florida, which is Manatee and Sarasota County, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, Venice, Nokomis, all the way down through Welland Park, the Northport area. Well, let's talk about some things that you really need to consider and some steps you want to take before making your choice on this area and any area for that matter for retiring, to make sure it's the absolute spot that you want to be in. So hang in there, we'll be right back and I'll go over all these points with you. Hi there, it's John Bice with eXp Real Estate and the Florida for Boomers Network. And just by saying Florida for Boomers, you probably realize I work with a lot of baby boomers that are retiring and heading to Florida's Suncoast. So I want to cover some points with you, things to consider before you make the move. But hey, if you found us here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and every time we put out something that's for baby boomers about retiring on the Suncoast, you'll get a notification about it. And we put out information about every 3 to 4 days. So you'll get the notification that something new has come out. You can check out the channel. There's all kind of information about our beaches, different communities, cost of living, and just a ton of information that helps baby boomers out. So I will say a lot of the people that I work with, it's their first visit to the Suncoast and they're coming here to check things out. They're not sure about what Lakewood Ranch is, where it is, maybe where Northport is, what Welland Park is, where Parish is. So some things I highly recommend to you to get started is to come down for an extended stay. Now, when I say extended, I mean maybe a week. It's so hard to get a feel for the area in just a couple of days. So I recommend trying to stay here for at least a week. That way, we're working together. I'm taking you around, showing you different communities, showing you everything that Florida's Suncoast has to offer, not just Lakewood Ranch. But when we're not out looking at properties, you kind of get the vibe of what's happening in the area, where the UTC Mall is, where people go to eat, what beaches are the most popular, what's summertime like if you're here during June, July, and August. So to just give you a great feeling for what it's like to actually live here on Florida's Suncoast. And again, a 2-day stay, you just can't do that. Now, I can get you to a lot of different communities in Lakewood Ranch, and the areas around, like I said, Parish has a Del Webb. We can get down to Welland Park, which is all brand new construction. But to really know if you're going to like living here, you need to be here for more than just a few days. Do your research on the different communities in the area and know what kind of community that you want to live in. Do you want to live in a 55 plus community? Is that really important to you? Do you want to live in an active adult community, which is not age restricted, but has tons of amenities? Is gated important to you? Is a golf community important to you? Really do your research. You can go to my website. I send out an email that has a lot of the links for the different communities in our area, and it'll really tell you what they're all about, what their amenities are, what their fees are. And that's super important to know, because if you just come down here blindly and you don't know what is 55, what is that not, is it not active adult? Is it two the same thing? So it's very important. Highly recommend that you go on to my email on my calendar and schedule a time to talk to me so I can answer all of your questions about what this area is totally about. I'm a Floridian. I was born and raised in St. Petersburg. I've been back in the Sarasota area since 1999, so I've seen all the explosive growth. And there are a ton of different communities. We've had everything from non-gated family style communities. We have villa communities, condo communities, all the way through uber expensive communities. The new one is called Wild Blue, which is in Waterside. The lots, not the houses, but the lots start at 1.4 million. So we've got everything in between that as well. But again, doing your research will help you and me so much in the search for your new home here on Florida's Sun Coast. We want to help you find exactly what it is that you're looking for. Now, I have to be really honest with you. I'm getting a lot of emails lately that say, I want to spend between $400,000 and $500,000. I'd like something on the water with a dock. That's somebody who hasn't done their research. Okay, if you're going to be on any kind of water where you can have a dock for a boat, I'm going to say the least expensive thing that you may find, and I doubt that, is $800,000. And that depends on the area. Now, if you're in the Sarasota, Bradenton area, Anna Maria Island, Longboat Key, those types of areas, you're looking at $1 million plus to be on the water. I'm having to say to people, okay, where are you from? And could you get a house on the water there for that amount of money? And every single time they say no. This is not Florida of 1972. It's not. Prices have gone up significantly, definitely. The whole real estate rush during 2021, 2022 escalated our prices. But it's not 1972. You can't get a waterfront home for $500,000. It's just not going to happen. Now, if you're in the Lakewood Ranch area, we have lakes that you can be on, non-boatable water, but you're not going to be on somewhere, the intercoastal waterway near the Gulf of Mexico, where it will take you out to the open water. Condos, same thing. If you have even a remote glimpse of the water, you're talking 500,000 plus. If you're on the beach looking at the Gulf of Mexico, you're probably in that $650,000, $700,000, $800,000 range, depending on the size of the condo and the amount of view that you have. So hopefully that helps you out when people are saying, hey, I want to be in that $500,000 range with a boat dock and on water that I can get out to the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, it's not 1972. While we're talking about prices, whoever it is that gives you financial advice, talk to them. There's so many things I need to ask you beforehand. Do you have a house that you need to sell before you purchase here? Can you purchase here without selling that house? But if you have a financial advisor or if you have a CPA, know what you want to spend here. Do you want to have a mortgage? Is that going to be something that you want to take out another mortgage, selling a home maybe up north, or are you going to do cash? And if you are cash, do you want to pay for the whole entire home up front, or do you want to have a small mortgage or maybe a 50% mortgage? Depending on interest rates, obviously right now with our interest rates above 6.5%, if you have cash, that's the best way to go. But once they settle down, they get back down maybe in that 5% range. Sometimes I recommend to people, hey, take out a 15-year mortgage, keep 50% of the cash in the bank or in your investments while you're making money on it. And then you can pay off that mortgage anytime you want. There's no prepayment penalty. You can do that. And if we're working with you on new construction, the builders now, if you'll get a mortgage with them, they're offering between $15,000 and $25,000 in closing costs and incentives, something that you could use just by taking out a mortgage for a short period of time. You might have that mortgage for 6 months and then you can pay it off. Again, there's no prepayment penalty, but why not use their $25,000 towards your closing costs and incentives for upgrades instead of just putting it all out in cash? So that's something to consider, but the mortgage part of it is very important because you want to know what that payment's going to be. Does this fit into my retirement plan, or is this going to put a cramp on me? We're going to be house rich and cash poor, which I never recommend for people. So that's something very, very, very important to consider. Baby boomers retiring, one thing that is very important that I recommend for you to do is get your healthcare professionals lined up before you leave, wherever it is you're coming from, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, whatever it is. Get your healthcare providers lined up here on the Sun Coast. Get your referrals from your doctors there and find somebody here. We've got some of the best healthcare there is out there, but you want to have that lined up. I've heard of people that have moved here and then they're having a hard time getting a referral from their doctor up north into a doctor here. So you can get recommendations from people. You can go online and look at ratings, but I highly recommend that you do that. Local hospitals here, Lakewood Ranch Hospital, Doctors Hospital, Sarasota Memorial, Manatee Memorial, Blake Hospital, and a very famous hospital, from what I understand, is Tampa General. Very, very nice hospital. And so we have all those, and again, all the healthcare professionals that you could possibly need or ask for. Rentals. Having a lot of people say, hey, I want to rent there before I buy. Okay, coming to our area between November and April, it's next to impossible to find a rental unless you've done it a year in advance. And expect for that rental to be very expensive because it's season. So if normal rental rates for an annual rental, let's just say $3,000 a month for a house, they may be charging $6,000 a month during season here, and get it, because the rental market is so tight right now and people want those houses to be able to come down here for a month and stay. And please don't make the mistake of thinking that you're going to have an investment property, you're going to be a snowbird and come down here and use it during peak season and then rent it for 6 months during the summer. It's not going to happen. That's a horrendous idea. The people that come here during the summer are typically families, and they're going to want weekly rentals. Now, a lot of these communities don't allow weekly rentals. A lot of condos don't, villas don't. So, and it's extremely hard to find somebody to do weekly rentals. Now, I don't know about all the initials out there, VRBO and all those things. That's a different thing, but you have to know in that particular community that you buy in, when can you do it? When can you rent the house? How long does that rental have to be? Do they accept weekly rentals? I'll tell you, the 55 plus communities here, you can't rent for weeks at a time. They'll tell you that you can rent it twice a year, and the lease has to be for at least 6 months at a time. That's just an example. It might be 3 months at a time. But a lot of these communities, especially condos, are very tight on their rental restrictions. So make sure you understand that. And if you're thinking of renting something, I can send you property management people to talk to, but you got to do it way far in advance, because our rental market right now is super tight. So it's important that you do it as far in advance as you possibly can. Chances are you're going to be downsizing when you're moving here. I highly recommend, instead of paying $8,000 to $10,000 to have all your furniture shipped from the north, with a lot of the style in the north tends to be darker furniture, and maybe you have that 4,000 square foot home that includes a basement. You're not going to have that here. The average size home for baby boomers here, the most popular floor plan is around 1,850 square feet, and they typically go up to about 2,500 square feet. Now, that 2,500 square foot home is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath with a den, 3-car garage, but still 2,500 square feet. You're not going to find something here for 4,000 square feet and on a budget maybe $800,000 or less. It just does not happen. So seriously consider dumping all the old furniture, unless you want to you're really attached to it. You want to move down here with it. But I will tell you, Florida lifestyle is light and bright. People go with very light colors down here, light cabinets, light granite tops. So that's really, really important. Winter clothing. I've never owned a winter jacket in my whole entire life. Never. So you don't have to move all that stuff down here. If you have a place up there that you're keeping, or maybe you're going to go visit kids, leave some stuff there that you can use when you go up there. My wife, that's what she does. She goes up and visits her parents in New Jersey, and they keep their winter clothes up there, but very, very little here, like a jacket here, that's it. So you don't want to bring all that stuff down here because you're never, ever, ever going to use it. I mean, cold, really cold for us is like 38 degrees. I mean, and we have that for probably all of like 12 hours at a time. So you just don't need all that stuff. So really consider not moving it down here. You're going to downsize, do it. And this is where we live out here, especially November through April. We sit by the pool, we eat out on the lanai, we have the sliding glass doors open. It's amazing. So consider downsizing for sure. We have all the information about all the communities, the lifestyles, any kind of hobbies you want to do when you're thinking about retirement. Are you going to become a paddleboarder? Are you going to become a full-time pickleball player? Are you going to fish every day? Are you going to go to the beach every day? What's it going to be? What hobbies are you going to have when you get here? Well, we've got all that information for you. There's only one requirement that we have, because this is what we do for a living, that you're working with us as your real estate professional. I've been doing this for 17 years. I have 4 ladies on my team that are very experienced as buyers agents. So one of us will be working with you, but nothing is more frustrating to us than spending a lot of time with people, talking to them on the phone, sending them emails, and then some realtor out of the blue sends them a house and they go, oh, hey, John, we bought this house. I mean, I've had it done more than once. So that's all we're asking. If we're providing all this value to you, we're giving you advice, you're talking to us. If you come across something online and you want information on that house, just send it to me. I'll get you all the information. I'll go virtually tour it. I'll do anything that works for you. But it's so painful when we do all this. We add all this value and then somebody goes and buys something from somebody else. So those are the first questions we're going to ask. Are you getting a mortgage? Are you paying cash? Do you have an agent that you're working with? If you do, we can't help you because I'm not going to provide a ton of information. Just to be honest with you, I'm not going to provide a ton of information. And then you go, your cousin's sister's brother's best friend just got their real estate license and you buy from them. And I've had it happen. So I want to help you. I want to get you into the perfect community, the perfect house for you. And that's all I ask. Let me know if you're paying cash or getting a mortgage. I highly recommend that you use a Florida mortgage person, just like I highly recommend that you use a Florida insurance person, which I can refer you to people for that, and use me as your realtor. Pretty simple. I'll give you all this information, and it doesn't cost you a dime out of pocket. You know why? Because the seller or the builder or whoever's selling that house pays me. So I'm here for you and I work for you to get you the best value on your home. Call me, 941-962-7443, and I look forward to hearing from you.